Tastes like heaven, served by John Wayne, cooked by Sam Elliott.
A few days ago on my Instagram, I did a little Q&A on my story, asking people what I was putting on my pit boss for the first time this year. And something that I didn't expect, but it came up quite a bit, was one answer that about 15 different people had. So I figured, why not make a YouTube video about it and the cooking process of it. So today, we're making brisket. So first things first, we got to get this out of the package and pat it dry with paper towels here. Shout out to Martin Huber, by the way, for this gorgeous chef's knife. We're just gonna cut this thing wide open. Shit. Cut this thing wide open and get it out of this package here. We're gonna pat it dry with some paper towels. Don't cut towards yourself, by the way, everybody. You might end up stabbing yourself. So I chose a smaller brisket for today because it is my first time ever trying it. So you guys are gonna come along on this journey and see how it goes. Now, from what I've heard, is that you don't want too much fat on this side here. So we are gonna probably take a peek here, make sure there's nothing too crazy fat-wise. Maybe trim a little bit off this right here, because if it's too thick, it won't actually cook on the meat. So let me get some paper towels here. Clean my hands off a little bit. And then we're just gonna take a little bit of this off here. If I can, that might actually be okay. You know what? We're just gonna roll with it. It doesn't look too bad. I think we'll be okay. It's not too thick, and I got just a flat. I didn't get a whole brisket, so we're just gonna pat it dry, and then we'll get to the seasoning part. You just want this to be dry so our binder doesn't not stick. You don't have to take all the moisture out of it, but you want it to be at least dry enough to be able to get that seasoning and binder to stick, which I know it sounds kind of counterproductive when we're putting a binder on something to remove some of the moisture, but I'm learning right along with you guys. Okay, so now that we got it all patted dry and ready for our seasonings and our binder to go on, we're gonna take a little bit of Heinz yellow mustard. You don't need to use a lot, just a little bit, enough to make something to where it will grab into the meat and it will also hold that seasoning on. And I'm cooking for me, so I don't need to be wearing gloves. Just throw a little bit of mustard on there. We're gonna do this to both sides. Rub this bad boy in. And I forgot to mention earlier, but you do want your meat to be about room temperature when you start doing this, just that way all the moisture is out and it's rested and set down in there to where you can get it as dry as possible. Just a little bit more. Do both sides. Sorry if this ASMR freaks you guys out, but it's what we got to do. Now that we got the mustard all on, coated on both sides, we're going to start on the fat side with the seasoning. And you can use whatever seasoning you'd like. I went with some of this Tesket. You can use whatever seasoning you like. I decided to go with this Texas brisket barbecue rub. When I was buying it, it had some, what looked to be, I believe the ingredient was some chipotle in there. And I enjoyed the taste of chipotle. I like a little bit of spice, but nothing too crazy going on. So I decided to go with this one. You can use whatever you'd like. There's plenty of people that different. You can use whatever you'd like. There's plenty of companies that do different types of barbecue rubs and other things like that. So use whatever your heart desires. We got the package all opened up, and we just want to give it a nice healthy seasoning here. Kind of the same process as the mustard. I mean, you want a lot of seasoning so it'll actually soak into that meat, especially on the fat side. Needs to be more seasoning than the non-fat side because it has to soak through all that fat, and that's what's going to create that bark that you normally see on a brisket, as well as some flavor to it. Now we got it all there. Just need to press. You don't want to rub because you can take some of this fat off when it gets warmer. Just kind of want to press it into the fat there. If there's spots that don't have some on there, you just sprinkle a little bit more around. Make sure you get all the corners, all the edges. That's definitely important for seasoning any type of meat that you're cooking. You want to make sure everything gets all coated evenly. And then when we go around to the other side, some of it will fall off, but thankfully the tray being right there, some of it will collect onto the sides. Then we'll just repeat this same process on this side. Sprinkle it around. Press it in. Don't want to rub around too much. You just kind of want to press it into that meat so it can actually retain some of that flavor, because some of this is going to fall off when you start grilling it or put it down onto the grill, just because that's the nature of, well, the meat itself. You can see here we don't have this corner right here. Let's get that pressed in. Then we want to do the sides as well. I know I said don't rub it around, but these sides are a little bit tricky, so. How's that saying go? Do as I say, not as I do, right? Rub-a-dub-dub. The brisket. Then we just want to make sure we got everywhere. Oh boy. I'm spilling seasonings. And I probably used more than I needed to, but I like the taste of this, and I like Chipotle barbecue rub specifically. I do like Chipotle as well, but I like the taste of that Chipotle brings out, and especially beef. But just that nice smoky, peppery taste going on. Okay, this is your brisket ready to go on the grill. So now all we have to do, preheat the smoker to 250, then we'll throw this bad boy on there. Okay, as you can see here now, I got my lovely Pit Boss Pro Series. Can't remember the exact size it is. I know it's the big one. What we're gonna do here, turn this bad boy on. There she goes. Get it set for Get set for 250 degrees. Then we'll let it preheat and we'll be good to go. Don't mind the dogs barking in the background. They're being kind of rude right now. But we got the grill up to about 250 degrees. It's actually 250 right now. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take this brisket right here. We're gonna put fat cap down, not directly over where the fire pot is, just a little bit offset because we don't want it to cook too quickly. But we're gonna take this bad boy right here. Saw a little spot that I missed, so just give me 1 second. Take this, fat side down, and throw it down on there just like that. I got it set off to the side a little bit so it doesn't get done too quickly. But I'm gonna take a little bit more of this because some of it came off when it was sitting there waiting for the grill to preheat. I'm gonna take some of this right here and sprinkle it back on top. Now, for the first set, we want this to reach 250. We want the grill, at 250 degrees. We want the meat, before we wrap it, to reach 160 degrees internal temperature. So I'm going to take my little meat probe here that works with my grill. I'm going to take the meat probe, plug it into the barbecue. Pellet grill, smoker, whatever you want to call it, and stick this into the biggest, thickest part of the meat in the center. So I got that in there, 250. We're gonna shut this and let it go. And as my cousin likes to tell me, who is a professional butcher, if you're looking, you ain't cooking. So we're just gonna let this thing go by itself until we get 160 degrees internal temperature. And then we'll be good to go. So I'll see you guys in a couple hours. Do you guys mind? I'm trying to film here. But you don't care, do you? Dogs. Okay, so now it's been about 2 hours or so, maybe a little bit more, and it's reached 165 degrees internal, and this is going to be the first reveal for getting it out. So here we go. Not looking too bad. So now we're going to pull this off. I'm going to take it inside, and then we're going to wrap it and put it back on the grill. Alrighty, now we got it out of the barbecue. It's got a nice crust going on. We're going to take butcher paper, and you can use either butcher paper or tin foil, but I just happen to have some of this, so we're going to use this instead. We got it laid down. Real nice like. You take this here brisket, set it down, reverse, so we have fat side going down. That burnt the shit out of my hands. Just wrap it up like a present, and then we'll be good to go. I'll see you when we're back out on the grill to put it back on there. Now that we got this all wrapped up, don't make fun of my wrapping. I wasn't very good at ever wrapping gifts. We got this all wrapped up. We're gonna throw it back on the grill, 250 until it hits internal of 202 to 205. So I'll see you guys again in a couple hours. My microphone. It's now been an extra 2 hours, almost 3 actually, and we are going to pull it off because it is an internal temperature of 203. It's all wrapped up, and I will see you guys in an hour to do the final reveal. All right, so it's been about an hour now. We've been letting it rest and gather back up into those juices and solidify a little bit more. So now we're going to cut into it, and we're going to see how it looks for the first ever brisket. And yes, I'm still not putting on gloves. Got a solid bark on it. The grand reveal. So, a little bit on the dry side, but for the most part, you can see we still got some juices in there. So, not too bad for a first one ever. You're trying the brisket. Kai, take a bite of this and let me know what it tastes like. Either you or Lucas.
Just any piece.
Any piece.
I'm taking this piece. That was really good. That was really good.
Sweet.
I'm putting
Lucas?
A1 on it.
That's fine. You can do as you please.
Yep.
Good?
Yep. I think it'll do.
Dad, let me know what you think of this brisket.
It tastes like heaven served by John Wayne, cooked by Sam Elliott.
We finally got to finish a meal for once, unlike the first video. This took about, almost 8 hours of total time between when I turned on the grill till now. So let me know what you guys want me to try next time, whether it's barbecuing or just cooking regularly. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out.